You're listening to Bangkok Strange.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Bangkok Strange once again. Today we're talking about driving in Thailand.
Never a controversial subject.
Never at all.
No.
Before we get started, do not forget to subscribe. iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn,
YouTube.
Anywhere you get podcasts, YouTube, obviously YouTube. And also check out our merch, shop.bangkokstrange.com. We've got some shirts, mug, mask, all up there that you can check out. Really cool. We've got the one logo design right now with the sort of packing label or the office label.
Well, you get the mugs coming, too. So we're going to be able to
Yep.
show off the products, right? Yeah.
Eventually.
That's going to be great.
That will be fun.
Were you shipping that from the U.S.?
Yeah, they ship from the U.S.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if they ship from so they have a UK store and a U.S. store for Teespring.
Okay.
So
Well,
wherever they ship from.
might be British ceramic, then. This is going to be worth a lot of money in a year or two.
Probably not.
Oh, yeah, well, maybe.
Cheap Chinese clay.
Guy can hope.
Anyway, be sure to check the shop out. YouTube channel, definitely. We just finished a live stream, actually. So
That was killer.
yeah, so be sure if you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, turn on notifications. You'll get our live streams. We haven't really worked out a schedule yet, but we'll figure something out.
No, not really, but I think at least once a week, right, we'll have at least a podcast that'll
At least a
drop.
podcast. It'd be good if we could do a live stream weekly and kind of talk about.
That would be fantastic. If we could do that and a podcast, I think we'd really be able to hit a lot of topics.
Yeah.
You know?
A lot of topics.
Yeah.
Not just ladyboys and dick pills from soy.
No, in other words, we'd be able to talk about ladyboys and dick pills on a regular basis.
On a weekly, bi-week,
Yeah,
twice a
absolute-
week basis.
I mean, I got to get my mom as a listener somehow. I got to come up with some decent topics.
If you're not talking about dick pills, she doesn't want to hear
She's
it.
like, Michael, listen, you know what? At 85, I just really need to be stimulated
She's
somehow.
like, the guys I'm hanging out with, they need these. I need
Look,
to know where to get them.
My mom's a librarian. She's got a degree in home economics and nutrition. She is the party of all animals.
Like you were finding like street dick pills in the drawers as a kid.
Oh, long before it was even invented.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like horny goat weed that she would pick up at 7-Eleven, bring that shit home.
Making it herself.
Come on, a big toil and trouble kind of thing going on. Yeah.
Mom, what's that? Don't eat it.
Don't just get new. Do not. It's gonna. Your blood pressure is gonna go through the roof.
That's what Tony Huge told her.
Well, that's why he's huge. You think that's why he's got that nickname?
He's like
I mean, is he just like hung like a Shetland pony?
Maybe.
He could be.
He's like 15 years younger than you,
I'm
right?
surprised he didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'll tell you what, dude. At his age,
Huh?
I was not. I had massive blood flow going on.
Yeah.
Even when I was your age.
I wasn't having to take it daily.
Weird, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of penis, let's talk about driving in Thailand.
Well, smooth segue.
You like that? That's why
So
I was in
smooth.
radio, buddy.
Talking about penis anyway.
Yeah, so I'm driving around in my car, you know,
Circumcised.
playing with my dick.
So anyone who's been to Thailand knows driving here is a fucking nightmare, to put it lightly.
It's a nightmare, but it's also very different. I mean, first of all, it's
Yeah.
on the left, so that's friggin' weird.
It is on the opposite. If you're American, it's on the opposite side of the road. If you're anyone else, you're wrong.
And if you're driving down the road, people coming the other direction.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, motorbikes coming the other direction. That's
Cars. I've been
Yeah.
driving my scooter, and a truck was coming the wrong way
Yeah.
on the fucking road.
But he was on the, he was like, well,
It's normal.
Yeah, I mean, I've only got like 6 blocks to go.
It's normal.
Why would
It's
I make
normal.
a U-turn?
Exactly. It's
And
normal.
I'll tell you what's crazy about it is the other day I'm walking down the street, I see someone, I'm like, man, when I go home, I'm going to really miss being able to drive down the wrong side of the road. Because how fucking efficient it is. If you have to make a U-turn on Sukhumvit,
Nah, you just-
forget about it, dude. I'm on a motorbike.
Yeah,
I'm just going to drive down.
you do what you want.
Come on.
So everyone who like even follows like traffic or motor vehicle related news knows Thailand has the deadliest roads
Yeah.
in the world by
Right.
far. And actually during like Songkran and like the New Year holiday,
Yeah, the highest.
they call it like the deadly 7 days each time. So it's
bad.
people are just dying left and right. They have a death toll on the news. That's how common it is.
To be fair, isn't it related to alcohol?
A lot of it's related to alcohol.
Yeah.
A lot of it's also just related to shit like driving the wrong way down fucking 6 lanes of traffic.
And the lack of training. Like when you
lack
and
of
I got
training.
it was like, okay, look, you got to take a class in
Yep.
high school.
Yep.
And then
Driver's
maybe
ed.
you can get your permit at 15.
Yeah, and
Otherwise, you got to wait till 16, right?
in practice for like a year.
Right. And no one under 18 could be in the car. You always had to have an adult with you.
Yeah. Which of course we always We always did.
Yeah, tell you what, the odd thing was when I got my learner's permit, I had so many friends I didn't realize were 3 years older than me all of a sudden, yet in the same grade. It was crazy how many guys got stayed back.
Yeah,
all
crazy,
of a sudden. I got my
crazy.
license. They're like, dude, I'm totally. I mean, my brother, shocking, I look just like him. I'll just use his ID. Swap those babies out.
Yeah.
No big deal.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Same, but different.
So here, that doesn't occur. You're
Does
not
not.
getting like training.
Like, so there isn't primary school or secondary school, like junior high school,
Okay.
right down the street. I think you have to be 20 to drive in Thailand.
What? Seriously?
Yeah, or 18. It's a higher age than the U.S. legally.
How many 10-year-olds do you see driving a motorbike?
So I was just gonna say, there's a school right up the street,
Yeah.
like a junior high,
And they're all-
the 3 per bike. And so the scooter, for those of you who don't know, the scooter is the minivan of Asia.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere. It's
not-
the SUV.
It's not uncommon to
Yeah.
see a mom and a dad and 3 kids
Yeah.
on a single scooter just whipping down Sukhumvit.
They put the dad will be driving.
Yeah,
Mom
always.
will be all the way in the back.
Yeah.
The middle child will be right between the 2 adults.
Yeah.
And then the youngest child will be standing up
Standing
on
on
the
the
front, holding the
platform.
handlebars.
Yeah.
And the adults will be the one wearing the helmets.
And-
the kids won't have the helmets on.
No need.
And it's like,
They're-
dude,
they're resilient.
That's your genesis. I mean, that's going to help your
That's
family.
resilient. So if there's a baby, like a newborn baby, they just sort of tuck that baby in between.
Well,
like,
the mom holds it.
Oh, they tuck it in. They
Just put it in?
They get some friction.
It's like a glove box,
Yeah,
basically. They just throw the
yeah.
sumbitch right in
And
there.
actually, they have little baby seats for scooters.
Yeah, which is, yes.
And so it
Right.
mounts. It's,
Because if you fall over, you want that kid to be just stranded underneath the friggin' vehicle.
so it's funny to even think to describe this. It's a baby seat that like bolts to the front of the motorcycle, and the kid sits. So they have a very popular type of bike here is an underbone, right? The Honda Cub is an underbone. The Honda Wave is an underbone. The Suzuki Raider underbone, where they have like a kind of looks like a girl's bicycle where the tube comes down. It's so you can step over it, but it's not as big as like a regular motorcycle.
But it's not a step through like the click.
It's not a step through like the click.
Okay.
And so the baby seat mounts to that underbone part of the bike, and then the kid, it has like a little thing that wraps around their butt, and their legs just sort of hang.
Right near the gas.
No,
tank.
right near the the gas is under the seat on those bikes.
That's
right?
true,
So
yeah.
they're right near the front wheel.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. No
Perfect.
debris.
No debris. And so that's where the baby hangs out. And so that's, if you want to have the full minivan conversion of your scooter,
Experience.
that's how you roll. Especially with the Honda Wave's probably the most popular bike right
Yeah.
now in Thailand.
With the shifter.
It's a centrifugal clutch.
Okay, yeah.
Right, so there's no clutch
Right.
lever. You rev it up
Down,
to
up,
engage,
down.
and then let go. But actually, that's a great little system. The Honda Cub, the Super Cub,
Yeah.
is the same setup, and that's the most popular vehicle sold in the world.
Really?
Like over 150 million or something.
The Cub?
Yeah.
Is that like the Scoopy?
No, it looks
That's-
like the Wave.
Looks like the Wave.
It's just a little higher end.
Okay.
Has
Wow.
metal body plates, stuff like that.
I figured the click. I see clicks everywhere.
Yeah. Click's popular because they have a 125cc version, but
Yeah.
the Wave is by far the most popular.
I like the automatics because I don't have to think about. I would prefer it like your bike. If
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a shifter, I'm
Yeah.
doing the clutch.
See, I like that, but in the city, like the centrifugal clutch is great.
Yeah. Well, automatic. I would submit is
Automatic is
better. But
Yeah, but the centrifugal clutch is like it's the isthmus between the two.
so I'll tell you what. The new word that you've clearly adopted as being really cool in your world.
Yes.
Isthmus.
Isthmus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because, like, whether you have a lisp or not, you say that word, you're fucking intelligent.
Yeah.
You have passed your SATs
Yeah.
with flying colors if you know that word.
You're an intellectual baller.
Yeah, you're balling.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Intellectually.
For
yeah,
sure.
For sure.
Okay, so there's no instruction.
Yeah.
Obviously, the alcoholism is an issue.
Yep.
And arguably in the United States,
Well,
they
we-
had a friggin' issue with that 2 years ago.
We both have Thai licenses.
Yeah, and we have both of them,
Yeah,
right?
so I have both, and I just went and converted my American license to a Thai license.
Yeah, you took the one but you also said you went there with your Thai license and a Thai friend,
Yeah.
which helped you.
Yeah, help me facilitate the process.
Whereas I actually had to go through the motorcycle training class in California and
Yeah.
get the M on my license,
Yeah, no.
so that I went to them and they said, "Oh yeah, clearly you're certified."
yeah, my Ohio license just covered me for everything.
Yeah, you had a friend that said, "Oh yeah, M.
Yeah, M.
I'm the walking M. I will
Yes.
justify this person."
Correct. And she was like 18.
Sure.
like university student. She was like, hey, yeah, it's fine. Fine for him. Maybe just not fine for the police.
Right. Yeah, don't worry about that.
Yeah, so all good.
He's skilled.
So I literally left the Ministry of Transport, got on a scooter that I'd been driving illegally.
That you drove there.
Yeah, that
to
I
get
drove
to
there.
get your license. Yeah.
And off I went.
When you were there, so what I had to do, I had to get a medical certificate.
Yeah.
I had to get proof of residency.
Yeah.
And then I had to go there with my license that does have an M on it.
Mm-hmm.
But she said, no, you still got to take a class. So Gracie and I stand around, or we sit around, we wait till like 1 o'clock. Everybody goes upstairs. I'm the only, foreigner. And we watch literally a YouTube video that was on, I guess, training, all in Thai.
Yeah.
And when we began, I remembered this from like just school in general in Thailand. So the adult comes in, and everyone, like even the adult, male men and women, they all stand up like he's like important. And I'm thinking, oh my god, maybe he's like the the general of the DMV. I better watch it. Start playing this video. It's all in Thai.
Yeah.
After about 30 minutes, they're on their phones.
Yeah.
Big time on their phones. I look up and you can see the amount of time. This is a 2.5-hour video.
I'm surprised they waited 30 minutes.
Yeah,
30 seconds.
I waited until the majority of them went into it because
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to get thrown out of this thing, right? So then it's like, it's a 2-hour video.
Yeah.
So we're about 50 minutes in. The guy comes in, says something in Thai, obviously. Everybody stands up and we leave as the video's still playing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, this isn't like a bathroom break.
Yeah.
Like he would have paused. So we go outside and then we do the tests that you went through too.
Yeah.
But after, we didn't have to watch the whole video.
The red light, red, yellow, green.
Yes. And I was towards the back of the line.
Yeah.
So, of course, all of the people in front of you, they're doing this in mass, right? So each person goes up and he does something. They say red, green, all in Thai.
Yeah.
So by the time I get up there, I'm like, okay, I think I heard what the word in Thai was for red.
Yeah.
I think I know what yellow is.
Yeah.
And then he points to green and I'm like, green.
Yeah.
Everybody laughs at me. I'm like, I don't know how to, I did my best. And they're like, yeah, don't worry about it.
For me, I just, dang, red.
Okay.
Dang, my dang.
Nice. Good job. If you don't know, that means red, not red, not red.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a good way of doing it. Yeah, that's
for
smart.
a long time, red was the only color I could remember.
Ah,
so everything was red or not red.
Well, I mean, that's the most important one. Stop.
Yeah.
Just do not go.
That's why it's at the top.
If it's yellow or green,
You're good.
okay. So there's no official training.
Yeah.
And the ability.
Did you do the reaction test?
Yeah. Did that
Yeah.
afterwards.
And there's a depth perception test.
So, I don't know. I did the break thing. I don't remember.
So I
What's
did the
depth
break,
perception?
and then there's a depth. The depth perception is the brake. So like you had to watch something
got
come
it.
at you
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
press the pedal.
I think they I don't remember that
And
exactly.
there was a guy who kept failing it when they just let him go.
Because I know, right? If you don't do it right, they're like, we'll do it again.
Yeah.
We'll do it again. And then afterwards, they're like, you don't have a clue what you're doing. Just go downstairs and get your fucking license. Just take the goddamn motorbike and get the hell out of here.
I like how you're not allowed to smile in your license photo.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Well, same with passports now, too. Can't show your teeth.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a monkey thing. Like
what if you have like gold fronts and you want to like?
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, if you're a gangster,
Yeah.
then obviously you can do whatever the hell you want because you're just sitting there. You're going to hold your 9.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to put a cap in the guy's name.
in your passport.
Yeah, you're like, hey, listen, let me into your goddamn
Hold
country.
my AK-47 with the ISIS flag in the back
Come
of my passport
on.
photo.
Yeah, I mean, why do you think I'm wearing this hood? So, but again, so there's limited accountability.
Yeah.
Right? And you're going through the process. You don't get a license. Like in California, we get a license. If I get a motorcycle license, then I get a new license, and it just has an additional M on it.
Yeah, here you get 2.
I get 2 licenses. I got the motorbike, and it's only good for 2 years.
Yeah.
I have a temporary license right now, right?
So I'm on my I have the full
Permanent.
version.
Yeah.
5-year.
Okay. So that you did at, like, obviously 18 months, 2 years,
Yeah.
something like that. Got to renew them.
Actually, I think my first one might have been only good for a year.
I think my temporary, they're good for 2 years.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
No, I know, because you just go through it. Whereas so California, you get your license. After that, you pretty much just like log into a website and they keep your same picture. Renew. I mean, as long as up to like 75, I think.
So yeah, and in California you can do it remotely too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in Thailand, like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it used to just be you got your license, you had that one license for life.
Never expired. Yeah.
Never expired.
Right.
You could be legally blind, but you get your license at 16, you're
Have
good to
plastic
go.
surgery.
Yeah.
They're like, who is this guy?
No, they didn't. The old ones didn't even have photos.
Really?
Yeah.
So you could give it to your buddy. Like, oh yeah, here, drive.
So my friend was telling me like he had his license, and it didn't have a photo on it, and it was good for life.
Wow.
And now when you went to, like, if you want to get a new one with your photo on it, then it goes into this whole process that you can get the renewable thing. But so they have their national ID card here. We don't have that.
That's
in
a
the
big
US.
deal here, yeah.
And so that has your photo.
Yeah.
So even if you have an old license that's good for life, they'll still have to see your national ID. So
that makes sense, yeah.
They can verify who's who.
Is it true that you can be arrested as a Thai person if you do not have your international ID on you?
I do not know the answer to that.
I heard that the other day, and I was like, okay, well, I mean, I guess... I mean, at the end of the day, in California, obviously, if you're driving a vehicle, and this is probably true in every state, you need to have your driver's license with you, physically on you. Okay.
Unless you're one of those free-to-travel douchebags.
No. Plus, I mean, if you've gotten a DUI, you're not going to be holding that thing. But you still got to drive around.
Yeah.
As long as you drive around sober, then you're good. At least that's what I hear. But so you can do that. But so there's no, like... But what's funny in the Philippines, which I say is arguably backwards, or not as advanced as Thailand, let's just say that. Gracie... She goes out, buys a motorbike, and then kind of learns how to drive it, like in a parking lot, and then upgrades to the side streets, just like we do with anything, bicycle kind of thing. And then she just recently went to take the course to be able to learn how to drive this motorbike that she drove to the school to learn how to drive, right? So did that, and now she has like a temporary license. It's good for like 90 days.
Okay.
And then she needs to go back in like 30 and then do something, like give him a medical certificate, and then she gets the permanent one. But there's nothing like that here now, as far as I know. Although you sent me an article from Bangkok Post about this upgraded thing. So remind me.
So now they're going to want to have a health check for anyone getting a license or renewing a license.
I had to do that when I was in Cham. You didn't have to get a health check?
No.
Okay.
And so they want to have a health check. I assume it's the same as like your work permit, visa, health check. They're going to check you for syphilis because obviously that's a pandemic issue, STD.
Well, yeah.
Everyone's got syphilis.
To get a work permit, you got to wear a mask anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
So check you for syphilis, check your blood pressure, check you for TB.
Okay.
And a few other things. And that's and then they ask you like some questions. Check your heart rate, all that.
Is it like the medical thing I had to get my visa to come here?
Yeah, probably very
so
similar.
Epilepsy, which I didn't have.
So I don't know if they've ever checked me for epilepsy when I've done it. I've done it a few times for my visa here domestically, and they have clinics that are set up just for health checks.
Yeah, right. Just like a couple $100 baht, just one after another.
Yeah, like $6 US,
yeah,
couple
exactly.
$100 baht.
Right.
You walk in, boom, check you. Did it? I remember one I went to was a little weird. The doctor, like, she had her stethoscope, but she like just put her hand inside my shirt to feel my heart rate. I'm like, what's going on? She's like,
so were there like girls out of the sidewalk saying, doctor?
No, but she's like, oh, your heart is strong. I'm like,
Okay, dude, why don't you video this? This is gold.
This was years ago, but yeah, that was a little strange. And no blood work. She just goes, oh, you don't have syphilis, right? I'm like, no. She's like, okay.
Now, did she touch your boobs and then basically ask if you had syphilis or beforehand? You don't have syphilis, right? No. Oh, well, let me just touch your heart now.
After.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, but instead of blood work, she's just like, you don't have syphilis, right? Okay.
Awesome. That's great. What if you do have syphilis? There's plenty of people that have syphilis in California that are probably driving around.
Honor system.
No, but I mean, if you have syphilis, right?
That's just part of the health. That's part of the health check for the visa. I don't know if that's part of the health check for the driving thing.
Oh, okay.
But I'm sure they're also checking vision, hopefully.
Yeah, maybe.
In the U.S., my grandfather was legally blind, still driving.
How did they let him? I mean, because they have the machine.
He would get a note from his optometrist saying that he had 20/20 vision. And he went in to renew his license.
That is a great optometrist. So people that say it's like corrupt to live over here, come on.
Yeah, and this is like Rhode Island, right?
Yeah.
My grandpa, as awesome as he was, like he was like just cataracts in both eyes. Like both eyes were cloudy, and he had to wear that VR mask looking sunglass.
Oh
thing
my god!
Remember those?
Yeah,
from back in
the
day?
big the cover.
Because it would go over his glasses.
Yes,
right?
all tinted all the way through.
So he looked like he was straight out of Lawnmower Man, like this whole.
Lawnmower Man from Rhode Island, ladies and gentlemen, stand back.
Yeah, just drive. You remember Lawnmower Man, the VR movie with Pierce Brosnan. And he's driving around with this VR mask.
and you're like, oh yeah, can you drive me to the mall? Because that'll be safe. Your mom's like, sure.
And he had Alzheimer's, so he would like.
Oh my god.
He would drive his car somewhere.
Forget
that he drove.
Oh my god, this poor guy.
Like, imagine if that was Bangkok. Like, I parked my car in the mall. Which mall?
Yeah.
There's 70. I don't know.
Just the mall, you know. How did you get there? Drove on the right side of the road. Seemed like there was a lot less traffic on that one, so I took that one. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
This poor guy. He listens to the podcast, right? Is he going to know we're mocking him?
Long dead.
That's too bad.
Yeah, he wouldn't have remembered after he listened anyway.
That was the funniest. Wait. No, yeah, it was fun. Wait. Okay, yeah.
Back in 1952.
1902.
1902.
Yeah, ought.
So, another thing in Thailand now, usually now, if you get your license, your motorcycle license with a scooter,
Okay.
like 90cc Honda from like 1960,
Yeah.
right? You get that license, you can go out the very next day and buy like a 1200cc
Yeah.
super bike.
Harley.
No, it's like 300 horsepower
Right.
Yamaha.
Crotch rocket.
No problem.
Yeah, right.
All good. Hayabusa, sure. Why
But
not?
isn't that the change now? If you
That
want
is the
anything over
change.
400.
Anything over 400, you need to take an additional test to prove you can handle that bike.
Now,
But look, this is a big jump from like 400 to 650 to 1,000.
but how are they going to, like, in other words, if you go into a shop and you see a 650 and you're like, hey, here you go, here's 400,000 baht, are they going to be like, nope, sorry, we can't take your money. You're going to need to go to basically land transport and get an upgrade? No!
If you've got that, especially if you get that 400 baht. So if you get pulled over driving the bike, you don't have the right license. I'm sure there'll be ramifications, some type of accountability, maybe.
Financial on the spot.
Yeah.
Accountability.
Whatever.
500 baht all day long.
Team money.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Or you just pretend you don't speak English. You're good to go. They'll let you go eventually.
Well, yeah, because they look at us and they're like, there's no way these fucking guys speak English. Jesus Christ. They were born up
Pretend
country.
like you're from like Norway or something. And they're just like, just get the fuck out of here.
That sounds like Norwegian.
Yeah,
That was a good job.
I don't know what Norwegian sounds like. It sounds like not English and not Thai.
Yeah, as a Thai cop, he's like, oh yeah, clearly that's Norwegian.
Yeah. He's like, get the fuck out of here. I don't
You
want to
just
deal with
don't
you.
even
Yeah.
stop talking. Oh yeah, and if you're not wearing a helmet,
Yeah. 500 baht all day.
that's
500 baht all
500
day.
baht helmets.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but this is the other thing. Like, if you're not wearing a helmet, you are kind of stupid.
I completely agree. It's like wearing a seatbelt,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you just get in,
But also, they sell these shitty foam helmets here that
Yeah,
are called
yeah.
Index.
right?
Which, like, I saw one of these, like, fall off a guy. He was not wearing the
The
strap.
strap, yeah.
Falls off, hits the ground, just shatters into a million pieces.
Duct tapes it back, throws it back on his head. He's like, I'm good.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's obviously not the greatest helmet. And expensive helmets here are very expensive.
They are, yeah. And I will tell you, I mean, I've gotten in a motorbike accident and I got this big hematoma on my chin because I wasn't wearing a full face helmet.
Yeah.
Because, of course, back home, that's what you buy. But, like, here, you know, I get the one because I rent motorbikes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't own one, right? So everywhere I get the little, you know, friggin' mode Larry Curly cover thing. And as you know, if you drop a helmet once,
Yeah, it's done.
It's done.
Yeah.
But, of course, even if it doesn't look done,
It's done.
usually when I'm renting a motorbike, I will probably drop that helmet 3, 4, 5 times throughout the course of the week or so,
Yeah.
which I'm sure everyone else never did.
No,
I'm sure I'm the only
never.
guy. And I'm wearing this thing, and yeah, it's friggin' styrofoam,
Yeah.
you know, with a plastic. But I'm like, well, it's better than nothing.
So when my first helmet I got here from when I had my first motorbike was an open face. So it covered the ears and everything, but it was open face.
Didn't cover the chin.
No, and
Okay.
it just had like a drop down sunscreen for the eyes only.
Okay.
And
What motorbike were you riding?
it was my Suzuki Raider, 150, stupid little scooter, 150cc underbone.
Yeah.
Way 6-speed transmission.
6-speed,
Way
awesome.
too fast and it would shake once you get it to like over 80 kilometers an hour. So
Over 80, dude.
I don't want to say how fast I hit on that, but well over 100.
Come on, we're all family here. You can tell us.
147.
Nice work, guy. Good job. And he's here to talk about it, by the way.
But I mean, it's like shaky. But so I
Yeah.
had the open face
Okay.
when I first got that, and I was living in Patumtani, and the school was all the way out in bumfuck Bangadi, like this industrial District 9 slum place.
So 30 kilometers.
like one-eyed prostitutes, like a whole
Just the
nine.
one eye.
Yeah, just the one
That
eye.
the way they don't have depth perception.
Yeah.
Perfect. That would work
Perfect.
great for my ego.
It's huge.
I swear to God, that's a 200.
But I'm driving up the road, going from the Rangsa campus back to my dorm in Bangladesh or my lab, and a piece of debris falls off one of these dump trucks.
Right.
Bounces on the road, and it breaks up, but a piece of it flies up and hits me in the face, busts my lip open.
Ouch.
And I didn't. Luckily, I didn't lose any teeth, but like a big gash in my gum.
Right.
And so, like, literally that day, I drove to another motorcycle shop and bought a full face. Or I bought a modular
right.
full
I
face.
know.
Biggest, I mean, it's not as hot as long as you got good airflow in the helmet.
yeah.
It's not.
And usually it's got the flaps, the turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. But you got to be moving.
But if you buy one of those index ones, it just has a little hole drilled in for air to flow through, no channels.
It's funny too. I mean, that's like we're in IT, right? So it's like, when do you do your first backup? After you've lost your data,
after you lost everything.
Yeah, it's like when do you buy your first decent helmet after you get smashed in the face?
Yeah.
And I mean that, and that's kind of scary. But again, look here's the thing that I would submit with all of the accidents. I would say that the majority of them probably happen in the middle of the fields, because they don't happen in Bangkok.
So
right or no?
There are a lot of accidents in Bangkok. I've
Sure.
seen a lot of accidents on the road. I've been hit by cars on the road in Bangkok. But it's always like a low-speed collision.
That's my point, is that you're going, like, if you're lucky, you're going 30 kilometers an hour on circumvit.
Yeah.
If
you're lucky.
And if you're in traffic and you're in a motorbike, you're just swerving, you're getting somewhere, but you're not going fast.
Out in Patumtani, I've seen, like, fatal accidents.
Yeah.
Like, I remember one night I was coming back from campus, and I think I was swimming at the Rangsit campus. I was driving back to Bangkok, and there's this long industrial road, like a 2-lane highway.
Yeah.
Each side, 2 lanes, and you'd always have flatbeds and trucks parked along the side.
So debris?
So sometimes there's debris, but I was driving back, and there's also all these like little pubs and bars,
How
like,
convenient.
like local spots right along the road.
Sure.
And basically, I came across police had it kind of like taped off, but it looked like 3 girls on one scooter, like dressed like they were maybe working at one of the bars.
Got it.
Smashed into the back of a flatbed.
Decapitation kind of thing?
Oh, the first one, the one who was in the front, definitely. And then like just 3 bodies, just not a good look. A lot of blood, a lot of stuff.
Let's take a selfie.
No,
Instagram, they didn't have it back then?
Too late.
Yeah, I tell you.
Back then you didn't have the flash on the selfie mode.
Right, exactly. Just on the and you couldn't turn it around. So you're like, I'm not got the white balance. This is going to be a pain in the ass. I'll just cruise home.
But
I mean, that sucks. Look, that sucks in any country.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, you see, none of them had helmets on.
Yeah,
right? Like,
sure.
I remember not seeing shoes anywhere. Right.
Okay, dude, you're like driving on a motorbike with 3 other people, and you all have helmets, and you hit a flatbed.
It's still dead. Yeah.
Too fucking
Well, it was a parked flatbed.
Look at all those dead people with helmets on.
Yeah, parked flatbed, but still, right.
Usually, when you hit a parked car, you're a little inebriated.
Yeah, it was also like I said, probably like close to midnight.
So here's the question: does Thailand really have a driving problem, or do they just have a drinking problem?
Little of both.
Because I can tell you, so MAD, right? Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Yeah.
You probably heard of that. Started in my hometown.
Okay.
Or actually next to Hull, right? And so, it's okay. It started, but it also a lot of the short answer is it started in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
There were mothers in other towns. There wasn't just one lady, and then all of a sudden. But the point is that her son or daughter died. Right, and she's like, "Look, this is crazy." And he got together with enough mothers, and it's like, "Holy, our kids are." So then, obviously, there's education, which who knows? I mean, they told me at 18 if I drank and drive, I'd probably hit something, and I'm like, okay, so
You're like, so I'll just do a lot of coke.
yeah, exactly. All I got to do is stay awake and not fall asleep. I got this.
Yeah.
The Peruvians have a solution for this all day long. Cue the Colombians, and I'm good. So I mean, but then there's the punishment.
Yeah.
I mean, I have had friends even as less than a year ago that I've seen like, why'd you stop drinking? Oh, because I got a DUI in California. What'd that cost you? $27,000.
Wow.
Okay.
That was the fine or the legal fees?
That's everything.
Yeah.
Legal fees, fine. You got to go to a class.
Yeah.
You got to, you have to. You don't necessarily have to go to AA, but if any lawyer worth their salt, they're like, look, dude, you should probably get some documentation proving to the judge that you're like going to change your life somehow. So they won't, because you lose your license for a year.
Yeah.
Right. Jail time one night, kind of thing. Community service. But I mean, over here, like, are they going to ever? What would be the equivalent of that? I mean, obviously, we're not just going to do the exchange rate. They're not going to be like, okay, 650,000. No.
So yeah, there are penalties for DUI. It's a crime, right?
Okay.
And it is like in Sangran, I remember seeing like they posted the numbers of how many people were arrested for driving drunk.
Yeah.
Oh, not this past Sangran because it was canceled,
obviously.
but the one before that.
Yeah.
So like they were enforcing it. They are doing something, but I don't know how consistent that is.
Mm-hmm.
However, I have been out late and coming back in a grab, and we'll go through a DUI checkpoint.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've seen those too.
So, and usually, like, if it's they shine the light. They don't check most people. They're like, okay, go ahead.
Win a car, no.
If you're a grab driver, I think for the most part they see that you've got a passenger or whatever.
Yeah.
They're just like, yeah, go ahead.
And usually, depending upon the passenger, they're just like, well.
Yeah, but I'm also sure, like, if you were just like shit faced pulling up to a DUI checkpoint, they'd be like, hey, because I have seen other cars pulled over.
The driver, you mean?
Yeah. Like I have seen cars pulled over and them checking the driver. I've been checked on my motorcycle I pulled through a point, and they've just got like one that you blow into.
Oh, so they've full on checked you.
Yeah.
Like take your helmet off, blow. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Park the bike, shut the key, shut the ignition.
Didn't even
off.
do a walking test. They just went bam.
Yeah.
Put this thing in your mouth.
They were checking everyone.
When does that happen here in Thailand?
So they don't
this thing in your
they
mouth?
don't put it. Yeah. Well, occasionally
I mean,
when I'm broke.
Soy 23.
Yeah. When I'm not making any money, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I get it. Yeah, sure.
It's a tough life.
Bought this.
Yeah, damn right.
All right, so you're blowing in this tube in front of a
So it's
tightly clothed.
but it's not like you don't even have to. Yeah, the cops here, their uniforms are like
Fit.
100 like painted on.
Exactly.
Like they show up at the station in the morning, they're just like. Psh, psh,
I bet the cops like really get excited about camel toe. Like, look at this, because you can see what I got going on here. I'm getting on a motorbike.
Yeah,
they are fit.
Yeah. Like they're all in good shape, and all of their fucking. Well, no, I've seen some chubby guys,
fat, older
but
ones.
their uniforms are still fitted.
No, exactly. I mean, they are. I mean, they don't have muscles really, but anyway.
Well, the young ones, like some of them are jacked.
Okay, so you got some nice, jacked, tight-fitting clothed cop putting something in your mouth.
Yeah.
Tell me what happens next.
It's like weird because it's not like a U.S. one where it has a tube that you have to blow in.
Okay.
It's got a hole, and you just blow in that hole.
And it goes into like somewhat meter.
Yeah, and it just said beep, 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 and then get good or bad.
Okay.
So I remember I was good, and he's like, all right, get back on your bike. And then the guy behind me was bad.
Jesus.
This is like midday. He's like,
Wow.
no. He's like, sit over here. I made him sit on the fucking
Oh,
curb.
and sober up. He didn't like put him in jail. He's like, here's a cup of coffee.
Well, I don't know if they came over and arrested him afterwards, but they were like, sit on the curb.
Wow. Okay, I mean, and I think that's part of it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually, I think it's a large part. Because look, you could train everyone how to drive great.
But here's the other thing. That's Bangkok, which
Okay.
is the biggest population center, but it's a very small part of Thailand.
Yeah. Outside of Bangkok, there aren't checkpoints necessarily.
I don't know.
There's fields. There's rice fields.
Yeah, there's rice fields. I've never seen a checkpoint outside of Bangkok.
Right.
No, I've been up country a bit. Driving up, like I remember I tried to take my motorbike up to Ayutthaya,
Okay.
and it was like just after rainy season. A big part of the road on my path was missing.
Yeah,
It just washed away.
You got to get on the other side. Yeah, I've seen
I
that
was
before.
I was like 2 hours into the trip, and like just a section of road
It's a
missing.
good sign.
I'm like, I'm just gonna go back.
Yeah, what's the worst thing that could happen?
Yeah.
How long I'm thinking about taking the train up to Ayutthaya. What was that, 45 minutes?
Yeah, it's not that long. Maybe an hour and a half.
Oh, I could do live stream.
Yeah.
I've done a 6-hour live stream on a train before. That was easy.
You might hit some. You might hit some empty spots, some no coverage spots.
Is it going to be like the road where like half the track is just like completely
No, I love the trains in Thailand.
Yeah,
We'll do
they're
a whole
great.
episode on the
we
trains.
definitely
'Cause
will.
I'm a big train guy. But road-wise, the other thing, if you ever travel up country by car or like you take a bus or something,
Yeah.
you'll see these spots on the side of the road once you get like outside of Bangkok,
Okay.
where you'll see cars pulled over.
Oh,
And
right.
they've got these covers, and there'll be fans, and people pull over and they pop their hood.
It's like a rest area.
Yeah, and
okay.
they'll pop their hood and they blow cool air, not cool air. They blow less hot air onto the engine to cool it down.
Yeah.
But you're basically taking a break to let your car cool because it's just so fucking hot if you're
It is,
traveling
yeah.
during the day.
Right.
Like imagine having a Harley out here that's air cooled.
Well, plus, not only you're driving around with your air conditioning on.
Yeah.
Because there's no heat in cars here.
No
All air conditioning.
all air.
So you've got the.
But why would
engine.
you have heat in a country that doesn't get below 90 degrees Fahrenheit?
I had no idea. I'm driving around, and we're in Nakhon Ratchasima. This is in November.
Yeah.
And Malie, my girlfriend at the time, she's got this truck, and like we're leaving in the morning about 6 or 7 in the morning. A little chilly.
Yeah.
Right, because I'm a complete wussy. And so I said, "Hey, can't you turn the heat on?"
Yeah.
Right, because I have like, and she's like, "What?" And so she just reaches over and she turns the knob all the way counterclockwise,
Yeah.
and it's only labeled blue. There's no red there, right?
No.
So I'm thinking,
Not even white. It's just blue.
no,
the
it's just
whole
blue, but like lighter blue. And I'm thinking, well, what are you doing? Like, can't you just turn the heat on? She's like, heat.
Yeah. What do you mean?
And that's when I learned. I'm like, oh my god, it's so. Therefore, you got the
Well, it's
engine.
like, so in California, in San Diego, the cars come with defrosters on the rear window.
Yeah, well, yeah, because they just sell the same car everywhere in the United States.
Yeah, but in Florida, they don't have defrosters.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't know why they wouldn't. Because I mean, it's not just ice.
So I remember
condensation,
One
too,
of my
right?
friends lived in Florida, and he was up in Rhode Island,
Okay,
and it was wintertime,
Yeah.
and his back window was just
ice,
ice.
snow.
I'm like, turn the defroster. He's like, we don't have those in Florida. What do you mean you don't have this?
He was just giving you shit. I mean, the same car is sold in friggin' Providence that's sold in Miami.
Yeah, but it's easy enough to swap a rear window because it's just an electrical lead. And
Yeah,
some,
true. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So not install
So
it.
imagine
I
how
get it.
much cheaper it is to build that glass without embedding.
Well, so the last few cars I had, right, it was like it's this metal film in there. So like you get a chip in your windshield, $1,200.
Fuck.
But what the great
In the windshield.
Yeah, in the windshield. Yeah, so it was I had mirrors that were defrosted. No, it was a ridiculously expensive car. Trust me, my ego, it's taken years to get it right sized.
$1,200 windshield.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
I remember when I broke the rear window on my. Someone smashed the rear window on my Aveo.
To get in?
Yeah.
Because they wanted what?
I don't know. It's probably my ex-girlfriend just fucking being
Typical.
a bitch.
Yeah, totally.
I could see Hong. Fucking. I know it was you.
Yeah.
Bitch.
I've always hated her. Screw her.
Fucking Hong Lam.
Hung lamb? Was she hung lamb?
So anyway, I'm pretty sure it was her, but
We could do another podcast.
That was
on
an
ex-girlfriend.
$800 rear window for. That's like.
In an Avea?
Yeah, that's like 1/8 the price of the car.
I was gonna say, wow, that must have made it look pretty. It was like the old shoe with new shoelaces kind of thing going on. You get this really nice, shiny, brand new defroster.
So I had to go get that window replaced. That sucked.
Yeah.
And that was a dope car though. It was like bright blue.
Oh, there you go. Sure.
Sweet.
Red racing stripe down the side of it. You
No racing.
Get mag. You have mag wheels on it or what?
I replaced the steel wheels with like a lightweight alloy, like aluminum.
High tech polymer.
No, just
Okay.
aluminum.
All right.
Aluminium.
13-inch.
12.
Wow, dude.
I don't know what the
Golf cart.
Yeah, I don't know what the standard size was on that Aveo. It might have been 12-inch or 13-inch. Actually, I
Did
think
that have a 1.5 liter engine?
1 liter.
Oh,
think-
was it the 3-cylinder one?
I think it was a 4-cylinder.
4-cylinder. Okay.
But I think if I remember, the front wheels were smaller than the rear wheels.
I guess that makes sense, yeah, because when you're drag racing, you always want the rear wheels to be bigger, so I can understand that in that high-performance Chevy that you were sporting. How much tail did you get with that friggin' beast?
Hey, you know what, man? It was huge inside, too. Like, a lot of room in the front seat.
And a very expensive rear window.
Yeah, very
high
expensive.
class.
1/8 the cost of that car.
Top notch. Okay, so let me ask you this. You've seen this, right? So they go over and they cool off their cars and everything. I walk by. I mean, I've been seeing this down at Ekama. Guys are parked there at the bus station. Wipers.
Yeah.
The wiper arms are like up. Mm-hmm. Now, I understand why people park their cars and they like fold the mirrors in, right? Because you don't want to. But why would you? Because where we're from, right, New England, you put them up because you don't want the goddamn things to freeze to the friggin' what is
melting? It's the same.
So
you got sun beating down on glass,
right,
with rubber against it.
Yeah,
they melt.
Have you seen them melt though? I mean, it makes sense to me.
I've never seen them melt, but I mean that.
You know what?
It's very possible.
Maybe they just stick. Maybe it's more of a stick thing.
Maybe like when cars first came out.
Well, that's the thing. I'm thinking because here's the deal. There's a rubber seal that holds the windshield in. And you don't come out to your car after a hot day and the goddamn windshield pops out.
This is Thailand. It's entirely possible. What was that old Jeep that they had in America where it was like a front windshield that folded down?
Well, yeah, the Jeep Cherokee. I mean, the CJ, right?
Yeah,
the standard Jeep where, the windshield would fold. You could lift the doors off, right? But this was all cool.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, yeah, I'm a warrior.
Flip that fucking
I'm a Navy
down.
SEAL and flip that sumbitch down because the last thing I want is anything protecting me.
So Isuzu just came out with a new Jeep in Thailand, similar to the old Suzuki Ninja.
Oh, the Suzuki. Yeah, that's a great car. Yeah. That was a really cool car.
4-cylinder little Jeep thing.
Yeah.
Because Wranglers are cool as fuck, but if you live in a city, it's kind of pointless.
Well, it's a pain. Well, plus, I mean, let's face it, it's heavy. It gets shitty mileage.
Yep.
You know, the use of
full-time
space.
4-wheel drive.
Actually, no. I remember you could do 2 low.
Oh, could you?
Yeah, but I mean, it didn't matter. I mean, you still like turn. It's very heavy. The transaxle, very heavy. All right, so but hold on. Let's talk about these cooling stations because I actually never seen those. I've seen the wipers up. So
and actually, they'll come and they'll go around your car and you can actually get your radiator flushed.
So so you pull over to get coffee, gasoline. They flush your radiator.
Grab a meal. Usually there's a restaurant at these things. Right?
Usually it's an Amazon cafe.
Yeah, there's usually an Amazon cafe, but there's also like, those are like the regular rest areas. But
Okay.
There's almost always an Amazon cafe somewhere.
Well, because PTT, right? They
Yeah.
own, yeah.
But there'll always be like these little pop-up restaurant deals too, and then there'll usually be like some other type of like little sit-down place.
Yeah, I've seen that,
You
right?
can
yeah.
almost get like a street food style type of vibe at some of these things.
Well, yeah, and okay, but what about those ones? You know how like you're cruising down the road, and then off to the left, they'll be like, it's almost like a small neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's like shop houses one after another
Yeah.
and stuff. But I don't see any gas. There's no gas there usually. But it's just like shops after another. Is that like? Is that like I've never? Is that where I would have normally seen the fans?
Some of them, yeah. Like it'll be like a little covered area, and you gotta park under that little metal covering.
Okay.
So it's to keep the sun off the car.
Okay.
And then you'll pop the hood, and then like you'll go eat, and like they'll check your temp, and when it's cool enough where it won't fucking explode in their face,
They'll open the top.
They'll pop the radiator and they'll flush it.
I mean, but like, see, I don't get that because I mean, new cars. Now, again, I've not owned one in Thailand, but it's not like Southern California doesn't get, kind of hot.
Yeah, but not compared to here, right? The sun, like the level of, like the actual beating of the sun here is pretty fucking crazy.
Actually, you know what I've seen? Okay, so you know how you've probably been on this. Like you're driving up a hill,
Yeah.
and on the side of the road, obviously, speed limit sign, and there's another one that says "Turn off AC."
Yeah.
Right? Have you seen those signs? Well, I don't know if you remember this, but Southern California, you'd be going up through the mountains, and there would be these giant concrete like buckets, basically, like and they would be filled with water, just in case you needed that for your car.
Is that what that's for?
Yeah, that was that for. But of course, the cars now, you don't need. It's a sealed system.
Yeah.
Like in a newer car, I don't think I ever saw the temperature gauge do anything but go right in the middle and just sit there.
Yeah, for the most part. One of my first car was this old Ford Taurus my dad got me.
Ford Taurus, okay.
And it was this guy sold it to him that was like all this guy did was fix Ford Tauruses. Like
He was an aficionado.
yeah.
Okay.
And so he had like a little junkyard in Pawtucket, Rhode Island.
Right.
And like he would just buy like junked Ford Tauruses and
Right.
basically I guess what he told me was all the parts were kind of interchangeable.
Well, yeah, I mean, same
Like,
model.
Like from every year. Like
Ford just said, look, here's the thing. We're not going to modernize this thing for a decade.
so it's like basically I got this Franken-Taurus, right?
Okay.
And so I had this Franken-Taurus. I'm fucking driving around. It like had this horrible metal on metal sound. Like
Like you had no pads in the back.
I don't know. But then, but my temperature gauge was always pinged out at hot. So he's like, oh, it's just a bad gauge. He's like, costs too much to change.
So you can't trust the gauge.
Why? He's like, yeah. He's like, don't worry though. He's like, your radiator's good.
You know, it was funny. I mean, I've had cars before where the gas gauge didn't work.
Yeah.
So I had to use the mileage
Yeah.
thing, right? Because it would always be like either on E or whatever. And I used to love it because I'd get friends that would sit in the car
Yeah.
and we'd be cruising along and be like way out middle of nowhere. And I would look down like, oh, shit. And they'd be like, we're out of gas. We're going to die. I'm like, I don't know. Usually when it's on E, I mean, we should be good for like another couple miles, but you might want to put your shoes on because we may have to start walking and get a gas tank, kind of, and we'd drive for like another 150 miles. You're like, what the? This is an amazing car. I'm like, I don't know, dude. Probably get like 78, 97 miles per gallon. It's friggin' amazing. What kind of car? It's a Cadillac, you know? The car weighs 4,000 pounds.
Yeah. This Taurus, man, it was big too. It was tough to drive.
Front-wheel drive, though.
But it was just long.
Yeah, and it's got rounded, right? The Taurus was
No,
like...
mine was kind of boxy. Like,
Really?
It was like from 91. The body was from 91.
But, yeah.
The VIN number on the dash traced back to 91.
And the temperature gauge, clearly that was an antique.
Yeah.
Because that was just bam.
Hot all the time,
Yeah, you're
overheating
right.
like a motherfucker.
Smoking
Yeah.
like crazy.
But
Okay.
yeah, what a Franken car, man.
I mean, my first car was a 74 Plymouth Scamp. I mean, I'm 10 years older than you,
Yeah,
basically,
yeah.
right? So, Dodge Dart. You probably heard of the Dart, yeah.
Yeah, the
so it was
Dart.
one of those. Slant 6 engine. It's
Okay.
amazing engine, lasts forever. But, not a performance car by any means. And then from there, actually, this is in high school, I got a 1965 Mercedes 190.
Oh.
Dad and I bought that off some guy, had the want ads,
Yeah.
right? There's no Craigslist back then. You opened up the newspaper, like $1,000.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you know what? I want to get a car and I want to like rebuild the engine or I want to fix. And so all you got to do is buy a used German car.
Yeah.
And that'll give you plenty of fixing ability for the next year. But that was a really interesting car. And my buddies actually at school, they used to call it the staff car because it looked like, something from Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah.
So one of them, thinking this will be really funny, he like gets some stickers or whatever and gets 2 flags that have swastikas on them. So he throws it on the front fenders.
Yeah.
Right. So I think, okay, that's kind of funny. My buddy Andy, who was Jewish,
Yeah.
not a fan.
Not so funny.
Not a fan. He did not have the sense of humor that my friends did. So-
You mean racist white supremacist humor?
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't shaving my head back then, so I'm like, look, I don't even fit the profile. So he comes, takes him, breaks him, throws him on the ground, kind of, how dare you? And I'm like, I don't know, dude. I mean, I like Hogan's Heroes. What can I tell you? I'm a Sergeant Schultz guy. I mean, he's my buddy.
I'm
dude.
sure that went over great.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Andy loved me after that. Yeah, he was a big fan.
The Anti-Defamation League still got you on their list.
Yeah, Mothers Against Dumb Kids as well, basically. All right, so we have the cooling stations, and they're here. They're not in the city. It's just up country, right?
Yeah, just up country.
All right, so around here, what do you think, other than like the wipers, what are they doing around here to like keep the cars cool? Because, I mean, if you're sitting in Bangkok traffic, dude.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think they're just always sitting in traffic. Keep in mind, most of like Sukhumvit and all that, you've got kind of cover from the BTS.
True, you do have some shade. Yeah, that's
You
right.
have the highway.
Okay.
But yeah, traffic's still a motherfucker.
So do you think it's ever going to get like better? Like, in other words, in the U.S., obviously, tons of people used to get caught drunk driving, and that was a problem, and people would die. Are they going to, like, after this new law, you're going to need to take the exam,
Yep.
you're going to need to take the driving test, and you're going to need to get a health certificate?
What's
that going to do?
I would like to think yes, like accountability and stuff comes with that, but I don't know, man. Like it doesn't happen overnight.
I mean, it's 2020, and again, I still see 10-year-olds.
Yeah, and you can see kids driving scooters anywhere.
Literally walking over here today.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, I see him, and I'm like, God, that guy's fucking skilled. How did he make that U-turn without
Right?
putting his feet down? Jesus.
Yeah, no, they can definitely drive. But so I mean, it's a multifaceted problem, right? No one has. I'd love to be able to be like, yeah, absolutely, this is what's wrong, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
but I can't.
come on,
It's a multifaceted issue. No one knows the real fix.
Here's the thing that I actually kind of like over here about the fact that, like, you and I can come over here, like, or anyone from the Western world, let's say, but for sake of argument, America, you come over here and you see stuff that's wrong with it.
Yeah.
Like, this kid's too young, you shouldn't be doing this. There's holes in the street and they don't have cones, But honestly, I look at a lot of it and I think to myself, all it's doing is promoting, like, accountability.
Yeah.
Like, have some personal accountability. Don't step in the goddamn hole. Don't sue me after you've stepped in it. Open your eyes.
It's definitely not a litigious society like the U.S.
Right.
There's actually a piece of the road missing on the soy that goes to Unnut. So Pungmi Yusip Gao 29.
Okay.
There's like just a piece of the road missing.
Okay.
And it's like
There's one cone.
no. So what happened was I guess like one of those grates, the drainage grates, fell through.
Oh my God.
And so it's just a huge hole.
Yeah.
And they fucking put a stick in it, like a big, like a 2x4 sticking out.
So people see it.
And wrap like red tape around the end.
Yeah.
But it's like hanging into the road.
Yeah, but it's red tape. So I mean,
Yeah.
how do you say red?
But I mean, it's like dang.
So not my dang.
Not
this
my
is a full-on
dang.
dang road. Yes, absolutely.
But it's like hanging into the road a little bit.
Yeah, so you
it's
see
like,
it.
but like you could easily clip it.
smack your head. How did you do that? Well, I was avoiding the hole.
Yeah. I didn't fall in the hole.
They don't do. Well, actually, on Sukhumvit, if there's a problem, I see them doing maintenance middle of the night. By the following morning, that's fixed.
On Sukhumvit, they're pretty good about it for the most part, and you always see them working on the roads here doing something.
Yeah,
but
true.
like this one's been a couple weeks and they haven't gotten around to it. There's like some Facebook book. Like Facebook's huge in Thailand.
Oh,
there's some
number one city, right?
There's some Facebook group that if you post like a public works issue in Bangkok.
Yeah.
Like it gets shared like 1 million times, and the next day they'll be fixing it. It's the group. Do you remember when they swapped out the telecom cabinet on Asok? There was some girl put a video online of like all these rats living in the bottom of the telecom.
No, I don't remember. When was this?
You know that? So where Paula Pizza is.
Yeah, exactly.
So
right underneath.
there's a telecom closet right there.
Okay.
On the corner.
Right between like Paula and Dunkin' Donuts.
It looks like a phone closet.
Okay, yeah.
And so like right on the corner, closer to the actual intersection.
Okay.
Some girl posted a video because it was all decrepit and popped open. There's like 10 rats living in the bottom.
Yeah.
That group reshared that video. The next day, the fucking cabinet was replaced.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Something to be said for accountability there.
Lock on the door.
Right.
Fucking freshly
Brand new.
painted. Yeah. No wobbly doors.
Very nice.
Yeah. So I mean, there's social media has kind of created that sort
Yeah.
of thing in Thailand. It's
Sure.
good. It's very positive.
I mean, I think again, it's like there's all these like governmental bodies, right? They'll say, look, these are the regulations that you need to do. But I mean, public embarrassment is a pretty big motivator.
It is.
And
I said, like, if you're in charge of like telecom for, I don't know whose cabinet it was, but if you're in charge of telecom for the city and you've got a fucking rat infested, now look, they're probably coming in through the conduit, so there might be no way to really fix that.
Sure, right, yeah.
Like when I worked in telecom, like I saw rats scurrying through underground conduit all the time.
Always eating through. I mean, that's the bitch of it, right?
Yeah.
Is that like the animals come in, they eat through. You're like, crap, I got to pull new.
Especially if it's like fiber and you gotta
cleave another 70 strands of it. You know,
So coax is the worst. They can short it like in the middle, and you're like,
yes, I used to get that from the coax I had in my house in Mexico. The mice, they would love eating through, and once they got through the braid, they never got through the center conductor.
Yeah.
But the braid goes, and then you get interference
You get
up the
ingress,
ass. Yeah, so that was just like a pain in the ass.
Actually, so the motherfuckers, if they eat through the hard line, right? Once they get through the, there's no braid on hard line. It's just solid shield, but they can start shorting it out and stuff. And so, especially wintertime, if you can't replace the hard line or construction can't come out to do it, you're running RG11, right? You have
zip cord,
attenuation, or RG58. Is it 58 or 59? Like the really thick stuff.
Right.
Or 11 is the thick, I think, and 58 is the small.
Okay.
So anyway, the thicker, but it's still home drop coax. It's for long home runs.
Right.
Right from the pole to your house.
Yeah.
So, but I probably ran tens of thousands of feet of fucking temporary cables with that are still probably still out there.
16 years temporary.
I remember once it was like a 300-foot run. I had to splice out a piece of 500 is like the smallest cable. You see that in the cities.
It's like gauge. The higher the number, the smaller the diameter, right?
So it's like half an inch.
Okay.
So it's
okay.
Like 500. I think that's what it was, if I remember. But I remember and that would go bad all the time. That was like the oldest cable in the network.
Okay.
And they didn't really use that. Like 6 1/4 was really the biggest.
You just replaced it the minute it went bad.
So a piece of 500 went bad, and it was middle of winter, right? And you have to submit it for construction. And so I replaced it with RG11, right? And I had RG11 on my truck that had messenger cable on it, so I could at least secure it and put a drip loop in.
Okay.
And so basically ran from a tap to an active device, to a repeater.
Okay.
This piece of RG11, cut it in, didn't even lash it, I just zip tied it in a few spots. Because the idea is that, construction's supposed to come out and replace it. And like you don't want them to have to like rip the other lashing out.
Just the temporary,
So they'll relash a new piece and cut that 11 out. And so I throw that up, and like 2 years later, I'm back at
You're
that.
like, wait, that's
I'm
my
back
drip
at that
loop.
run for an outage, and my fucking RG11 had gone bad after 2 winters.
You're like, of course it's an outage.
Yeah,
This is freaking
I had submitted it in
job security.
and it was put in a contractor's queue and just never done.
Never bothered.
But and so the other thing is like once you replace a run like that, especially right before an active, then you have to rebalance everything.
So how much of that replacing was due to, like, as you know, relative to the topic today, automotive? Like, in other words, a car hits a pole, and how many times would you have to go out?
In New England, right, we have wooden poles.
Yeah,
Most of America has wooden poles.
Yeah.
So
Older, for sure.
Yeah, well, at least on the East Coast.
Unless you go underground.
So I guess in the Midwest, they might have the concrete ones like they have here. But here, you hit the concrete pole, you're not snapping that pole.
No, absolutely not.
Steel reinforced concrete pole in the ground. Your car's getting totaled.
Yeah, right. It's just a car thing.
Yeah,
it's not a cable
they
thing.
just come in tow, and like we've all seen the cable, the aerial cable here is
It's crazy.
Interesting.
So that's something that's definitely Bangkok Strange.
That's a whole episode.
That is absolutely an episode. Let's make sure we touch on everything we wanted to talk about automotive, driving, motorcycles. I mean, because what was just crazy when you first got out here, when you first saw something? Like, I'm trying to think of, like, what was first crazy for me?
No, the craziest thing driving-wise for me was always the absolute lack of respect for red lights.
Yeah, that's true. Because that's a big... You run a red light back home, you're looking at, like, $300, $400, $500, you know, if you don't friggin' die.
No one even stops here. They're just like, look, okay, good, go.
Well, it's more of a recommendation. It's kind of like a yield sign.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what, if you can't really see anybody, then it really doesn't apply to you.
Yeah.
You know?
Go.
I thought for me, I mean, I thought one of the greatest things was the way, I mean, the way people, like, people don't honk here.
No.
They merge.
Yeah, no honking.
But what's crazy is, I mean, there's like a line of cars, like, and they're just like cruising around, and obviously, they're in traffic. They want to be in front. They want to go, right? They don't want to just sit there. And some guy will come up from a side street, and he just like kind of looks around, and he slowly inches out there, and all the cars stop.
Yeah.
No one beeps.
No.
And I've been in the things where it's like that guy just like cut us off, is what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a middle finger waiting to happen back in Boston.
That's a fist fight.
Big time. The guy's gonna get out his tire iron. He's like, this is my road, right? I mean,
Someone's getting shot.
Absolutely, just throw his Dunkin' Donuts all over the guy. And I'm just like, but it's almost more cordial here.
Yeah. No, so in some ways, yes. And you're right. There's no honking. Like, I've probably heard someone honk once or twice, but it was like an emergency situation.
But exactly. When you hear it, it's like, oh, wait, I'm going to pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Whereas you hear it at home, you're like, fucking asshole.
Who's this dickhead?
Yeah, just drink more, buddy.
Yeah.
Go home.
Or like, no one's coming outside. Stop
We don't
it.
care.
Yeah.
And if your car alarm goes off, shut that friggin' thing off. In fact, I hope someone steals the car.
I don't even think people have car alarms that go off like that.
If they do, I mean, what do? Do you run outside? No. You don't call the cops.
No.
You're like, God, I can't wait till someone just friggin' steals that car and shuts that goddamn alarm off.
So yeah. So you know what caught me like when I first got here? It was scary as fuck. In the U.S., right? You're driving and someone wants to turn in somewhere. You flash your lights.
Yeah,
That's to let them go.
Sure, right, yeah.
Right here.
You flash your lights. I'm going.
Yeah. You flash your lights like, get out of my fucking way. You're going to die. And I found that out the hard way.
I'll bet. Flash your
I was
lights.
getting ready to take a right-hand turn. So obviously here, right is against traffic.
Sure, against, yeah.
And there's a car coming on just flashing his lights like crazy. And I'm like, oh, he wants me to go.
This is the nicest guy ever. He's flashing his lights. Wait, but he's coming at me pretty quick.
Yeah, it's like 2 lanes I got to cross 2 lanes. So I didn't go because I couldn't see past the guy.
Okay.
Because he was driving a truck.
Lucky.
And so, but he just like, they're flashing lights and woof,
yeah.
right by. So I got back. I asked my friend, I'm like, yo, someone here, like, they flash the lights.
Was he dicking with me?
Is to tell you to go?
Yeah.
They're like, no. You flash your lights, you like, stay put because
Right.
I'm not stopping.
I have the right of way.
Yeah. And so that was like, I could have just straight up died.
Yeah, no. Because he's being cordial.
Yeah.
He's being nice to me. These ties are great.
And it was nighttime, right? So it was like dark.
You're like, well, no wonder he's using his lights. It's dark out. He's allowing me to see.
So here, if they flash your lights, it's like, don't fucking move.
That's the equivalent of the honking in Vietnam.
Yeah.
You cruise down the street. If you want the right of way, you honk. If you honk first, you essentially have the right of way.
Correct.
And I watched that. I thought, okay, it's kind of annoying, the noise pollution, that sort of thing. If they were doing it on your street here, that would be like, me, fuck, we're doing a goddamn podcast, guys.
Yeah.
But it's kind of efficient.
So I saw a video from Vietnam that was amazing. This guy was crossing the street.
Yes.
In Ho Chi Minh City.
Yep.
And everyone just goes around him.
Yes.
And he just walks through like he's parting the Red Sea.
Yeah.
Just like.
No, and here's the thing.
It's like a million scooters.
It's similar here. In other words, like to cross the street, you basically just look around, and you go. Now the cars will go at effectively the same rate.
Yeah.
And if you stop they're like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah.
Right? To the point where if I'm walking across the street and a car stops, I'm like, "Dude, I'm expecting you to go." Like, and then I look to like the back of the car. Like that's where I'm gonna. You make eye contact with somebody, they're like, "Oh, he's gonna walk in front of me."
Yeah.
Whereas there, I mean, Ho Chi Minh, totally. In front of buses, these things are going to go 30 kilometers an hour and not stop.
So it seems to me that in Vietnam there's less cars than Thailand. Probably
There's
like
a
half.
shitload of motorbikes.
Yeah, like 10 times more.
Yeah. Than cars?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, there's motorbikes friggin' everywhere.
Yeah.
And arguably, it's like Thailand was about 10 years ago. No one had money for cars.
So here's the thing. I think in Thailand, like your average motorcycle driver, pretty fucking skilled. Even for like just some random.
It has to be.
Well, they've been driving since they were 10.
Yeah.
And like you go up country, and I'm sure when you're down on the islands, you see this as well.
Yeah.
Like 5-year-olds fucking jump on the bike, go to the store.
Oh, no shoes.
Grab a 6-pack for the
For his
parents,
dad. Yeah, absolutely.
Throw it in the back of the bike, come back.
Yeah, they have it under one arm.
Actually, here they don't even buy 6-packs. Right? They just buy the bigger can.
Yeah, the giant one. Yeah, the bottle or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, but again, they're cruising along on their phone.
On their phone.
But again, it's like I've never done something on my phone
I
while
like
driving
the
my
dude
car.
with the phone jammed into their helmet, so they can talk. It's like their hands-free kit for their helmet. And they basically, it's an open face helmet, and they just fucking slide the phone in. Yeah, just
Right there.
like this.
Yeah, it's
just like this.
And then that's what?
They're looking around, talking on the phone, driving. I can barely hear myself with the helmet on, let alone someone. I can't even hear on the phone normally. I have to wear headphones. So like my hearing's so bad that I can't just put the phone up to my ear and listen.
Like
to
in the house when you and I are talking on the phone. Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, the way it sounds or the wavelength, whatever it is, the quality of that sound.
The quality's not great.
I can't pick it up. I can't make it out. It's very difficult.
Are your headphones like cranked up right now? So you can.
No, so, like with the headphones and with the cups on.
Oh yeah,
I'm
you're
fine.
fine. Yeah, because there's no interference.
Right, but like any ambient noise, and I'm done.
I'm trying to think about all the other things. Like, you know what's funny? So I took the motorbike training class in Southern California, in San Diego, so that I could get the M on my license, so I could then get the international driving permit at AAA that allowed me to ride motorcycles.
Nice.
Okay, so I did this whole thing, and I was actually really great. I was psyched that I took this class. I figured, I kind of know. I learned some great things, like look ahead, where to turn, how the cup of the wheel allows you to. It was a great class. 50% of it, probably more than that, didn't pass it.
Wow.
And a bunch of people, they're like, well, why are you here? And, of course, I get it. Well, I want to learn how to ride motorbikes so I can get my motorcycle endorsement. So when I go to Bangkok, and they're like, dude, who the hell would drive? You think I'm driving on a friggin' freeway in California on a motorbike? You're delusional.
Oh, they can lane split in California, right?
Yes, you can, but that's not necessarily safe. But
well, I think we can lane split here, too. I think it's much safer than not.
Well, again, historically it's there because of the old air-cooled bikes, right?
Yeah.
You had to be moving so that it would cool down so you wouldn't just sit there. So I get that. But as far as I'm concerned, the way that you drive in California, if you have a car, you are infinitely more important than everybody else.
Yeah.
And you're not paying attention to motorbikes. So if I'm on a motorbike and I'm like cruising down and I think any car is ever going to see me, that's what we learned. You're invisible.
Yeah.
Driving a motorbike, you're invisible.
It's the same here, though. It really is.
So we do that, and I was like, this is great. I totally know how to drive this motorbike. But coming over here, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to have to figure this out.
So you learn counter steering and everything?
Yeah, it's like you push, right?
Yeah.
You push to the left to bank to the right.
You notice it works a little different if you have a step through.
Yeah,
the bike responds differently.
For sure. I mean, again, you're not leaning into it like you're a ninja or something.
I've seen people lean over, obviously not all the way with the step through
on a click.
But like I have friends who can bank a turn on a step through. But
isn't the side hitting the ground as you go? Okay.
but you can, when you counter steer on a step through, it doesn't, for me at least, it doesn't respond the same as if you have an underbone or a full size bike.
Or that bike you have.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if you put right, sure.
And I think it's just because of the way your legs are wrapped around it.
What if the tires are designed differently? Do they have less cup to it than your performance bike?
No, I wouldn't call my bike a performance
but you know what I mean.
bike. But also, my bike has small wheels, right? So it's
Well, they came from the Avia. Didn't you yank them off the Chevy? You're like, my friggin' ex-girlfriend busted the window. I'm taking the goddamn wheels and going
Those
home.
wheels are a little bit bigger than the Aveo. No, so I have a MSX in the US. They call it a Grom.
Grom, yeah.
Right, and but it's a nice little bike to sit on.
Yeah.
Very upright, easy to control. 4-speed transmission.
Super easy to control. That's what I took my test on, actually.
The Grom?
Yeah, so we're sitting there, right, and everyone, and so there were people that showed up at that thing. Why are you, I tell them why I'm taking it. Why are you taking it? Well, I already bought a Harley. I'm like, you already spent, $25,000, $35,000
easy
for a bike.
Easy.
But don't have a clue how to ride it. And they come to this thing.
How'd they get it home?
Precisely. Well, it was delivered. Harley Davidson, are you kidding me? You give me money, I am showing up at your house with this thing. And what is it, Roadmaster? Is that what it's called? No.
I don't know.
Road King.
Road King.
I think it's Road King. And you sit way up, right? 1,200, 1,800 cc, ridiculous engines, right?
Air cooled.
Giant radiator underneath the front. Remote start, all this shit. Anyway, so they buy these things.
Autopilot.
And then, big speakers, stereo system, video. So they come and they learn how to. So what do? They look over and they find a really big bike, right? Especially the guys, because they're like, oh yeah, testosterone all day long. So I'm looking around and I see this Grom, and I'd never seen one of those before in my life. And I thought, okay, I look at the course and I'm thinking, okay, so part of our test, we're going to be going through these cones at maybe 6 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm taking that one right there. Couple guys give me shit, laugh at me. I aced that test.
Yeah.
I knew exactly how to turn, and I learned a lot better on it. Whereas these guys, they're putting their foot down. If you put your foot down during the test, you fail.
Yeah.
And and I'm sitting there like just I'm going like like slipping the clutch, And I'm
also, the Grom has a huge gear range because it's only a 4-speed.
Big
So you
time.
probably never took it out of first.
First gear, dude. And the beauty of it is all you had to do is let a little bit off the accelerator. I mean, rarely did I need to use the brakes, but at super low speed, when I would slip that clutch, I mean, dude, I could literally be going 1 kilometer an hour and take these turns and everything, and I learned. So that was awesome.
Yeah. The Grom's a great bike, great city bike.
Well, and plus, what was it, like a couple $1,000?
In Thailand, it's like just over 1,000.
The $1,000 US.
Yeah.
In the US, is it more?
It's like $3,000.
That's interesting.
They're made here.
Oh, the Hondas.
Yeah.
Wow. Do they make all Honda motor? Like, do they make clicks here?
Yeah.
Oh, those things must be like $500.
All the scooters are made here.
Oh, that's genius.
Yeah.
That's smart too.
They're designed here too.
Really?
Yeah,
They
like-
designed the Grom here.
The MSX was designed here.
What's the next version up from the Grom? Like, what's it called here again?
The MSX 125.
125. Okay, so is there like a 175? Is there 150?
No, the after that you're jumping into like a CBR 150.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's a slightly bigger engine, but like a full size bike body.
but that's where the frame, they like have it painted a different color.
Well, it's like the 150 is like a big bike. It looks like a racing bike.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's only 150 cc.
What's the? Because I mean, that in the U.S. you talk about like I don't know, displacement of the engine, how big my brake calipers are, that sort of thing. In a motorbike. And if someone says, "Oh yeah, I have like a 650, I have like an 850 in the U.S.," you're like, "Okay, yeah, whatever."
Yeah.
Over here, what do you think biggest bike you'd ever ride?
For me, 125 is a great size.
Yeah.
For the city.
Right. You say that back home, they're like,
Yeah.
sorry, buddy."
Whatever.
Yeah.
I got that fucking porn star asparagus.
Copy that. If you haven't seen our live stream,
Yeah, go back to the live stream.
at it about 2 hours in, this guy is talking asparagus penis. So you're gonna want to get some data on that.
Export only.
Where are we? How are we doing on this topic?
We're pretty good. But let's talk about the size real quick, because the engine size is key, because you can buy there's a bigger range of smaller bikes here.
Oh, big time, yeah.
Right? In the US, like how many scooters do you really see? There might be a couple that Honda sells.
One, because they won't sell them.
And you can get like some Chinese companies that sell like 200cc
Roster
bikes.
or something like that.
Yeah. But here, like there's probably 20 models of Honda,
Oh, yeah.
20 Yamahas,
Yeah.
Suzuki's.
Right.
Yeah, Suzuki makes like the 150cc, like the Raider that I had.
Okay.
And they make some 100. Like usually 100's the smallest, 110.
Yeah, and you think, well, but again, you got to talk. The average Thai guy weighs like what, 60 kilos, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
My
But-
backpack weighs, Gracie weighs
125cc for the city.
perfect.
It's a great bike.
Yeah.
And you can take it, like you can't take it on the highway, obviously, but you can take it
true.
on the surface roads
Yeah.
outside the city.
Underneath.
No problem.
Yeah, if you're going on the raised road, that'd be bad
Now,
news.
the problem is like most of them don't have a big enough really fuel capacity to get if you really want to go outside the city.
Yeah, and they're uncomfortable.
Well, no. So here, like the MSX is super comfy to
Is
take
it?
for a longer trip.
I've been on clicks because I rent those when I go to the islands and everything. Man, I'll tell you what, after like 30, 40 minutes.
So it's a step through. The click's a step through.
Yeah.
The step throughs aren't as comfortable.
Right. I really wish my legs were like around the gas tank kind of thing. Yeah, that part I miss.
To me, like the MSX, the Honda Wave, I know you don't like the centrifugal clutch,
Yeah.
but that underbone style, great for like just going.
Well, maybe I'll rent an MSX.
Yeah.
That might be more expensive. That's the thing with the clicks. I mean, they're right now, especially because of COVID in it, 150 baht a day.
Yeah.
Have you ever
So
seen
maybe it'd be 250 to rent the
right.
the
It would be the
MSX.
regular price.
Or
basically.
even get like a centrifugal clutch like a Wave. Right? Honda Wave would probably be the same as the Click.
Maybe just try it. Yeah.
But it's like you're still like on it, like you're not around the gas tank, but you're on the body. The gas is still under the seat.
Yeah, for sure. That's true.
And it's also something like the Click is driven on the rear wheel. It's like a direct drive.
Yeah.
Whereas the MSX, the Wave, the Cub, they're all chain drive.
Yeah, I do like direct drive because in a
I
rental
don't.
bike,
And a rental, yeah.
because they're not going to. I mean, what is it? Is it half an inch every 30 miles?
Something like
I mean,
that.
it stretches significantally. You
Well,
go 2 months without.
When you first get it, yeah.
Yeah,
especially.
and the tensioning on the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the last thing I'd want. I'm cruising up some hill,
Yeah.
that would just be.
Hey, you just
piss
take
me.
care of it.
No. It's a rental though.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
these
it's a
guys.
rental, yeah.
No, I mean,
But
if you're
yeah,
on,
direct, but if you're only there for, if you're gonna rent it for a day or two,
Yeah.
just like zipper, like especially on Koh Phangan, no real hills, right?
yeah, there are. There's
Are there?
significant. Yeah, which is weird because you got to remember, like Koh Phangan,
Koh Phangan.
Koh Phangan, about 30% of the island is forest.
Okay.
Like in other words, there's not a circumference road.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it goes up about probably to the north, so that's probably about 50% of the way. And then there's nothing, and then there's a middle road, and then of course there's the beach all the way. It's sort of the southeast corner. That's where they have the full moon parties, right? So it's kind of like designed to get people in an area where you'd want to go. So if you want to like chill out, like I did, bungalows, you go up the west coast, or you go on the far east coast, and there's huge resorts over there.
If you want to do ecstasy, cocaine, drink, and die
all
in
the way down
ocean,
the south,
all the
just
way
go
down south.
straight south, grab some E.
Yeah,
you know,
good to go.
Yeah, and
they
after-
sell it at 7-Eleven there.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean that and dick pills.
Yeah, good to go. Dick pills and street ecstasy and street dick pills.
Yeah, and
Great combo.
little kids driving on the wrong side of the road. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the best combo, big time combo.
But yeah, try one of the Underbone bikes, man. It might change
All
your
right.
whole mind. I think like if you're gonna go outside the city,
Yeah,
I think it's a great way to get around.
Mm-hmm.
In the city, obviously, train. Nothing beats the BTS.
love the BTS and MRT.
You're
What a
not-
great combo.
You're not beating it.
As far as transport, I mean, and here's the other thing too. I mean, in the last 7 years since I've been here, they've added easily 10 more stops.
Yeah.
So I mean, and the plan they have now, right,
But-
up to Don Myung,
Dam Myung.
Red Line.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you look.
Actually, we'll go all the way to Future Park ranks it.
Well, because now, I mean, if you're taking like a cab, I would take a taxi there. It looks like every single stop is like done. Like I don't know why they're not running trains yet.
I think they haven't completed the track.
Oh, all right, because they have the overhead electrical.
Yeah.
They have everything underneath. You know, the streets. So okay, so it's mildly important.
Yeah.
Important safety tip. What do you say we throw the tracks in? I don't know. I mean, he used RG6 on that. But it's, I don't know.
You just run it.
Yeah,
run it.
just zip tie it in.
Yeah, you're good to go.
What's the big deal?
A little bit of grease.
What's the worst thing that could happen? Is it going to be the same scale as the BTS? It's a
don't-
BTS property, right?
No, it's an MRT property.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, so that extension's MRT. So this is the funny
Interesting.
thing. All the extensions are MRT.
Okay, so like purple, yellow, because they're doing that one, right? That one that's going to go out by, oh God, what's the mall down? Basically, if you go down Sukhumvit 101 all the way to the end, you end up at that.
Oh, Mega?
No. It's right next to the. What is the night market called over there? Like Rock, something like that. It's got like old antique cars.
It's a lot Rotfi.
Yeah, right. But there's the mall in front of that. I think it begins with an S.
I don't know.
Seacon Square.
Okay.
You never heard of it?
No.
Okay. David took me over there, actually. Oh, so here's a question for you. All right, never mind. I was going to ask you, where should I buy a laptop?
Apple Store.
Yeah, okay. If I don't want a Mac product, which to be fair, I've used these things for years. I love them. But the ROI, the cost it's 2x.
Call your boy at Dell.
I should double click on some Steven Robertson.
Yeah.
Man. He could probably get me a smoking deal on it. No,
Yeah.
he sells data center products. He sells products that cost at least $500,000.
Ah, so once you get that Dell laptop, maybe he'll throw you some
I'm
credits.
telling you what, he'd be like, listen, Mike, you spent a whole $1,100 with us. This means a lot to us. Let me text Michael.
Yeah, I got $2 million worth of data center for you.
Yeah, I mean,
Credits.
I'll give you some credits provided you buy these laptops. That's where Dell has really decreased in quality. I was buying about $1 million worth of data center every couple years.
Yeah.
And when Dell bought EMC and rolled that in and everything, the technical support on my $1 million infrastructure was very similar to what I got for my $1,000 laptop. 1-800-Dell, I'm like, this is offensive.
Yeah, for sure.
That doesn't work for me.
I would say if you're going to buy a non-Mac, I'd probably go to PowerBuy just because it's like
Really?
Just because it's like a reputable spot.
And with no expectation of return policy, right?
Yeah.
If I buy it, I buy it.
PowerBuy. Well, there's no return policy in Thailand.
Yeah, that's what I
anyway.
mean, yeah.
Yeah. So you could. I think Lenovo you can buy direct through here.
Okay, yeah.
Lenovo has shops.
Like you mean on the website and they ship it to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, PowerBuy will ship like 3 hours here in Bangkok, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
But I get, but if you go on Lenovo's website or whatever, you can like configure it.
Oh,
however you
okay,
want.
that's fair. Yeah.
Add in extra Chinese spyware, however.
Well, why wouldn't I? I mean,
Yeah.
it just, all I do is just go to like just add some Huawei stuff.
Yeah.
All you got to do is just add some Huawei.
Huawei, Lenovo.
Huawei
good to
in
go.
a huge way, dude. I mean, I'm all about that. Tony Huge would love Huawei, I think,
he's
because
all about the Huawei.
Huawei in a huge way.
Yeah.
It'd be giant.
They should sponsor his SARMs production.
I can't imagine if all of a sudden the BTS or the MRT like weren't running.
It'd be crazy.
I mean, because when I first came here, the Thais were not taking the BTS.
So I'll tell you, when the BTS breaks down, it's a shit show.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. I mean, especially in the morning, there are times like I get on at Punawiti, and I come up. If by the time I get to On Nut in the morning, if it's after like 7:30 in the morning, the people getting on, there'll be a line, and there is at least 3 people that are waiting for the next train. Like they couldn't get on mine. And so, I mean, you lose one train.
I've been on the airport rail link when it gets stuck.
Oh my god!
And I was close to like, let me pop the doors and I'll just walk to the next station.
Done.
And then it just will pick up and start going. Like,
how long though was it waiting? How long?
Like I don't know, like 30 seconds. No, just like 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Jesus! I mean, hopefully the AC was still, and electricity.
No. That's why I was like,
the power quit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big concern.
That's why I'm gonna pop this motherfucker. It was nighttime, so it wasn't horrible.
Yeah.
But like, I popped this motherfucker and walk home.
Well, you could probably fucking fix it. I'm like, just dude, give me some tools.
Yeah,
give me a fucking zip tie.
That 3-phase up above the.
Yeah. What's the worst thing? Is it 480 here that they use for the trains?
I don't know.
I think it's 480 back in San Diego, but they have it's like aerial cable.
Yeah.
You know, when they run the.
It's its
friction.
own power. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's a friction connect. Well, no, they have third rail on
here.
Yeah.
The flap thing on the side. But man, I'll tell you, other cities that I mean, I know that like Ho Chi Minh City is trying to put that in.
Yeah.
But like you said, there's so many friggin' motorbikes everywhere. I don't know. I think it would be a big behavioral change.
I'll tell you, if you're living in Bangkok and you're living somewhere where you need to drive, you're doing it wrong.
Absolutely.
Like, you could easily live like you're paying what 12,000 baht for your place over on was that $400 for your place over on 101
by True Digital Park.
And you can walk to the train
absolutely very easily even when it's raining. I'm just like well I'll walk under the awnings and then you get on the skywalk and then I'm covered basically the whole time.
Good to go.
Less than 15 minutes.
And so like if you're living somewhere where you need to drive, because I know people who are like, oh, I want to move further out, I'll buy a car. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm going to save a whole 2,000 baht a month on my rent and then buy this 280,000 baht beater.
That's like a tiny car.
Forget about it.
So, you know,
if you're going to be like, I mean, again, I'm living where I'm living. I don't necessarily love, actually, I do love Bangkok, but I mean, I don't necessarily love big cities. I'm a beach guy. I love that. But from Bangkok, I can get to any beach I want, which is the main reason. I got a place to stay here. I can come back. 2 amazing airports that, non-COVID, I can get anywhere I want to go. But, like, I'm doing that, and I can understand why people would have a car there because they would want to get out of Bangkok. Like, I do want to rent a car and, like, cruise all the way down the coast, go for a road trip.
You can rent a car.
Precisely, with, like, maybe 2 years old.
Yeah, without holding the liability of ownership.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you get insurance, but it's not ridiculous like it is in the U.S.
400 baht.
Yeah, exactly. And, full coverage and the whole thing. And it's just, and once you get on the road outside of Bangkok,
it's still crazy as fuck, but it's not as bad.
You think?
Oh, yeah. Have you ever taken one of those vans?
Yeah, okay, but that guy is a jackass driver. Those things suck because of the driver.
Yeah, but like
because you take a big bus,
you see the motherfuckers around you. So the big bus is, especially if you take a Nakhon Air, it's like this bus line.
Okay.
Fucking, they have 2 drivers. They have little bus hostesses.
What? Where's this? Hostesses?
Yeah.
Do they have like bustiers on? And
no,
shit
like
that?
they're little
thongs.
They're like little like chicks from Isan. Like will walk around there like, do you want a drink? Do you want some snacks?
Yes, I do. I'd like a massage.
They've got like first class bus lines.
What?
Yeah.
Where is this available?
You gotta get it from Mochit too.
See, I've only done Mochit. I get off and I walk down to those buses. I didn't know.
No, Mochit too. You get Nakhon Air.
Like in other words, as in Knock Air?
No,
like,
it's Nakhon Air is a different thing. It's a bus company.
Okay.
But literally, like they have first class buses. We'll do a whole thing. Maybe we need to take a bus trip and we'll like live stream or something.
I'm on it.
I don't know. You got to be quiet, right? Because it's like, but you have like a little private area.
Could we rent the whole bus?
So, no, you can't do
Give
the whole
them like
bus.
5,000 baht. Like, hey, we got this.
Maybe. I mean, if the first class like 1,000 baht for the seat.
Okay, but how far is it?
So like you're talking like Chiang Mai, Nan, something like that.
That'd be awesome.
So, but yeah, it's like recline. It doesn't recline all the way, but it's like 80%.
Yeah. So you can effectively fall asleep if you're tired enough.
Oh, for sure.
Plus the bus ride to Chiang Mai was 8 hours.
Yeah, but you can take the overnight train. You get the private sleeper.
I totally want to do that. Here's my. How tall are you? You're my height, right?
I'm 6'1".
Yes, I'm 6'2", so basically the same. And
you would fit. What? You would fit.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I sleep like arms over my. So I need something that's basically almost 7 feet.
You can't go overhead.
But I would.
You could like the.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't like stretch out.
Well, maybe I'd do diagonal.
It's a single size bed, right? But I've done it very comfortably.
Have you?
And
You like it didn't?
The motion of the train is perfect.
It must be cool. Yeah,
So
it must be
cool.
like sleeping on a boat.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
Dope as fuck.
Now, and is it like, are people appropriate, or does some jackass leave his line thing on so all night it's like ba-bing?
No,
ba-bing?
you get the private room. It's like $500 a ticket.
Oh, so you did the room?
Yeah.
Not just because I've seen how they like bring the top down.
2-person room.
Okay.
Right, and so like
Wow, 500. I think so $1,000 for the whole room, right?
Yeah,
500 per person.
It might be a little bit. It was more than flying to Chiang Mai.
Yeah, indeed.
But you pay for the experience.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
So you can do the semi-shared where it's like 4 people
Like
in a
bunk
room,
beds kind of
it's
thing,
just
right?
A curtain, yeah.
Yeah.
It's still bunk beds in the 2-person room.
Right, but you're private.
But you're private.
You have walls.
And you can lock your door.
Sure. Do you have your own bathroom?
No, you have to use the bath. Like your car has a bathroom.
Okay, that's fine.
But the semi-private's 4 people. Then they have like a new Japanese train
A
with like
nude?
pods.
It's nude?
New.
See,
It's
I was
got
thinking.
pods. Like
I love pods.
But I like the private suite. Like this, you jump on the back.
Well, if it's not, yeah, if it's only like a couple thousand baht, the experience.
It's less than 1,500.
Okay. And it's complete. So it's like you and Jib. Like I would go with Gracie. We get the okay.
Actually, if the 4 of us went, we could get like the 2 next to each other and open the door up.
That'd be pretty sweet,
So
dude.
they can kind of bullshit, talk back and forth.
Gracie would love that.
Yeah.
Because Jib's English is excellent.
Yes.
So that would be great for Gracie because she's pretty self-conscious about her English, right? Because it's not perfect. Because she's Filipina, yeah. She's
Filipino. She speaks like she's from like New York.
She's only been speaking English as long as you and I have.
Yeah.
You know, just not regularly.
Yeah, so that's why we import Filipino nurses to the U.S. and now they're importing teachers from the Philippines.
Isn't that crazy, dude?
Yeah.
I mean, so hospitals, airports, every airport. If you ever like, oh my God, I just really want to speak Tagalog, just go into a friggin' airport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Singapore airport, pretty much.
Everywhere.
Dude, so in the U.S. now, I saw this documentary about a school in Montana.
Okay.
That they're importing teachers from the Philippines, and they get like these 2-year visas.
Okay.
To teach.
Really?
And then
don't
they have
teach
to go back.
Really?
Yeah, so they get like 4 years total.
Huh.
But the school brought in half their teachers from the Philippines.
Because people are just not because the salaries suck, right?
It's a rural school in the middle of Montana.
Right.
Like, and they're probably paying like $20,000 a year.
Yeah.
To live in a place that is expensive due to logistics issues.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh yeah, I get a great deal, but I got to spend $300 on gas.
I wouldn't mind to go like be a teacher in the middle of nowhere, but like I don't want to do it for $20,000 a year.
Yeah, I mean, look, here's the thing. I mean, you and I like various cities, and you know, a lot of people be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you live in San Diego. There's all this friggin' sand everywhere. Way too many tourists." I mean, everyone
all
can
this
find
sand and beach.
Jesus, gorgeous sunsets.
No humidity.
Those piss me off.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, but a lot of
Mexican food.
Yeah, people who will clean your car for $8. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I mean, in New England, remember how much like getting your car washed?
$150 for a full detail.
And I go to San Diego, full detail, $15.
Yeah, but there's no salt. Like
yeah, oh yeah. They don't have to like spray it.
yeah. But I'm saying like in New England, like they can charge that because you need to do it.
Yeah,
In San
otherwise your
Diego,
car's
you don't
gonna
wash
rot.
your car; it's not going to rot away.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
That's
It's
true.
not made from the salt air. I don't know. Oh, that
you-
beautiful sea air that you have to contend with.
But again, newer cars don't rust even in New England.
Yeah.
Right? My parents
Well,
have like a.
The salt, if they're still using salt.
They are.
Yeah.
You know, they still put that down, sand, salt on the roads,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. Even though
little slurry mix.
kills all the babies, you know.
Yeah.
But no, babies shouldn't be out anyway.
Exactly.
Come on, they don't have rights yet.
As well, they shouldn't.
Oh my God.
I think with that, let's wrap this episode
Totally.
up.
Before we get down on babies,
Right.
Babies can't ride cars.
All right, guys. Be sure to subscribe. iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, anywhere you find podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I think we're going to try to do weekly live stream
Yeah,
at
for
least.
sure.
And get out there, do some live stream action. We just did one before we recorded this episode. So we'll probably release this next week. So last week we did a live stream. Definitely check it out. And anywhere, if you guys have questions, we have a phone number.
Yeah, just call 877-WOW-DUDE, 877-969-3833 in the U.S. We'll have to get an international phone number so
Yeah.
people can call from like Australia.
Well, maybe we'll do something. I saw some stuff online where people can leave comments through their computer. So
You think?
yeah,
There's do you need a keyboard for the comments online?
Like you can record audio.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That'd be good because it'd be great to be able to play them back. Say,
Yeah.
hey, this jackass wants to know about ladyboys in Thailand.
Yeah.
Shocker. I'm not going to
Shocker.
discuss that. It's totally inappropriate.
Anyway, but if you get
So call.
Yeah.
So call us or Bangkok,
BangkokStrange.com.
BangkokStrange@gmail.com.
Yeah, BangkokStrange@gmail.com.
Uh,
And don't forget to check out our shop.BangkokStrange.com.
Shop.BangkokStrange.com. We got mugs.
Yep.
We got
Face
masks,
masks,
t-shirts, dude.
tank
huge.
tops.
We should be doing the show totally decked out. We got to get some product.
Bangkok Strange. We got Bangkok Strange condoms. No, not yet, but soon.
But you know how you use a condom twice, don't you?
Well, you flip it inside out.
And take the fuck out of it. And with that,
Until next time, stay strange.
peace.